Archangel Michael says, today, with a voice that echoes through the heavens and trembles gently in the hearts of those willing to listen, that your picture, your essence, your story, your soul, has already been delivered to the one who holds all power, mercy, and glory in his hands. It has reached the eyes of the one who shaped the mountains and taught the oceans to stay within their shores, the one whose love does not falter, the one who watches over every single breath you take. In just a moment, less than 10 heartbeats, something sacred, something that may feel like a miracle, is waiting to be known, to be seen, to be felt deep within the quiet corners of your spirit. Do not turn away, do not delay. Open your heart now, for this is not a warning of fear, but a whisper of hope reaching you in time. There is something deeply beautiful and profoundly comforting about knowing that you have already been seen, not for what the world says you are, but for who you truly are, deep beneath the worry, the noise, the pain, and the weight of daily life. You have been noticed not by kings, not by celebrities, not by crowds or cameras, but by the living God, the creator of the stars, who counted every one of them yet never lost sight of you for even a single second. Your picture, the reflection of your heart, your burdens, your dreams, your quiet cries at night, has been lifted up by angels, carried by light, and placed gently before the throne of grace. And God, who sees all, who knows all, who loves completely, has leaned in to see you with joy and tenderness. Type 2222 to open the door to new blessings. He sees your tiredness. He knows how heavy your heart can feel, even when you try your best to smile through the ache. He has heard your silent prayers, the ones you whispered when you didn't even have the strength to finish the words. He has felt every tear that you tried to hide, every moment when your faith shook but didn't fall, every small act of kindness you did even when your own soul felt empty. Nothing about you has been hidden from him, and still, he loves you, not because you are perfect, but because you are his. And this love, this sacred, unstoppable, healing love, does not wait for you to climb higher, be stronger, or carry more. It reaches down like sunlight in the coldest dawn and wraps around you, right where you are, just as you are. This is not a love that expects you to fix yourself before you are embraced. This is a love that comes running when you are broken, a love that stays when others walk away, a love that never forgets your name or loses track of your worth. God's love through Jesus Christ is not a passing kindness. It is a promise, a covenant, an eternal shelter. What if 7 minutes could rewrite your financial future forever? This hidden frequency, backed by neuroscience, flips the brain's natural wealth switch, unleashing unstoppable prosperity. People are calling it the money magnet sound, and it's already transforming lives. But hesitation means missing out while others move ahead. This is your moment to act. Click the link in the video description and comments below to awaken the wealth inside you today before the chance slips away. Jesus, the gentle shepherd, knows your steps because he walked them before you. He understands the loneliness, the hunger for peace, the fear of not being enough. And in the middle of all that noise, he still calls your name softly, like a lullaby in the wind, asking only that you come, just as you are. There is no storm too violent, no shadow too dark, no past too messy for his grace to enter and heal. Every time you turn your eyes toward him, even for a single second, something begins to change. Even if it doesn't look dramatic on the outside, deep within, something sacred starts to move, hope begins to rise again. Type 1717 to affirm your life is in God's hands. If you could see what the angels see when they look at you, if you could hear what heaven whispers every time you take one more step in faith, you would never again doubt your value. You would see how cherished you are, how fiercely you are protected, how deeply your life matters. The enemy of your soul wants you to believe you are forgotten, unseen, unloved, but the truth, God's truth, is that you are known better than you know yourself and loved more than your heart can hold. Right now, there is something unfolding that you cannot yet see. It is being written in the invisible, carried by prayers, watered by tears, and it is growing slowly in the garden of God's perfect timing. It might not feel like a miracle yet, but it is. Your healing is coming. Your peace is already in motion. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. And none of it depends on your strength alone, it depends only on your willingness to believe that you are not forgotten. So when the moment comes, and it will, when the quiet turns into wonder and you feel something shift in your spirit, remember this: the reason it is happening is because you were seen. Your picture, your life, your name, was placed before God, and He smiled. Not because you were flawless, but because you are His child, and nothing matters more than that. Not with thunder, not with earthquakes, but with the kind of quiet power that speaks directly to the soul. What is unfolding now is not random, not delayed, not forgotten. It is woven into the fabric of God's timing, which is always gentle, always wise, and always filled with love. Even when you cannot see it, even when all you feel is the waiting, something is already moving in the unseen places where only faith can reach. You may feel lost in the crowd, like one voice in a world that rarely listens, but to God, your voice is not just another sound, it is a melody that He knows by heart. Your cries have not been missed, your longing has not gone unnoticed, and your picture has not been set aside. The angels have carried your needs, your hopes, your weariness, straight to the presence of the one who never sleeps and never turns away. And in that sacred exchange, the journey of healing has already begun. There is something deeply personal about God's love. It does not come in waves to sweep the earth all at once. It comes like a hand reaching through the darkness, straight to where you are, sitting quietly with your doubts, carrying the weight of your past, wondering if you will ever be truly whole. God doesn't love the idea of you. He loves the real you, the one who struggles, who tries, who sometimes fails and sometimes shines. And when you look up, even with tired eyes, He meets you with the full strength of heaven, wrapped in peace that doesn't make sense to this world. So many times, people carry wounds that no one else can see. Smiling on the outside, but quietly breaking on the inside. But the Lord sees the wounds others overlook. He sees the scars, the hidden disappointments, the nights when you couldn't sleep because your heart was too heavy. He doesn't step back from your pain, He steps into it. He draws closer when you're hurting, not further. His hands are not just mighty, they are tender. They hold you when you're too weak to stand and lift you when you feel like letting go. Type 1818 to claim miracles and breakthroughs. When Jesus walked this earth, He didn't seek out the strongest, the loudest, or the most successful. He went to the broken, the overlooked, the ones society had forgotten. He sat with them, listened to them, healed them, and reminded them of who they were in God's eyes. That same Jesus sees you now. He knows what you're facing, and He is not ashamed of your struggle. In fact, He honors your honesty, your vulnerability, and your courage to keep walking even when the path is steep. There are moments in life when it feels like nothing is changing, like the prayers are echoing in an empty room. But faith is often quiet, not loud. It grows in the stillness. It deepens in the waiting. It is not always about seeing immediate results. It is about knowing that even when nothing seems different, everything is held in God's hands. And His hands do not let go. Your picture, your life, your story, these are not forgotten in a drawer in heaven. They are placed near God's heart, watched over with divine attention, nurtured with the kind of patience that only love can give. What you're walking through now is not meaningless. It is shaping you, not destroying you. It is teaching you to rely on God in ways you never had to before. And every single step is known by Him. Nothing is wasted. Not a tear, not a prayer, not a moment of pain. You don't have to be perfect to be seen by God. You don't have to have it all figured out to be loved deeply. You only have to be willing to let Him in. To let Him carry what you can't carry anymore. To let Him remind you that your picture, your very presence, has already reached the One who has the power to make all things new. And He is already at work, even if you cannot feel it yet. So breathe, even if it's shaky. Rest, even if it's only for a moment. Trust, even if your heart is scared. Because the One who holds your future is not distant. He is near. He is kind. And He is already unfolding something beautiful that will one day make perfect sense. You were never invisible. You were never alone. And the proof of that is written into every breath you take, every sunrise you see, and every quiet whisper from heaven reminding you that you matter more than you know. What if 7 minutes of sound could end years of financial struggle and replace it with freedom, prosperity, and peace? This ancient frequency, once locked away in secret government research, is now changing lives everywhere. Imagine bills erased, doors opening, and sudden windfalls flowing into your hands. But every delay is wealth lost forever. Click the link in the video description and comments below to switch on your money wave, and claim abundance today. Before your heart whispered its deepest hope, before your lips ever spoke a prayer, the eyes of God were upon you. In the quiet mystery of His love, your picture, your very essence, was laid before Him with care. Not as a simple request, but as something precious and irreplaceable. There is no such thing as being too late when it comes to the ways of God. He is not bound by time, and when He moves, it is always with perfect intention and perfect love. Right now, your spirit may feel like a dimly burning candle, flickering with doubt, fear, or exhaustion. But the hands of your Creator are not far, they are holding the wind back, shielding your flame with such tenderness that even when you feel faint, you are not being forgotten. You are being guarded. The waiting, though painful, is not punishment. It is preparation. Heaven is not ignoring you, it is working quietly, faithfully, behind the scenes of your everyday life. God's timing is not measured in seconds or minutes like ours. His work moves through moments we often overlook. It begins in the silence, in the in-between places, where faith is tested and hope is grown. You may not feel it right now, but you are being carried by a love stronger than any pain, a love that never wavers, even when you do. That love is watching over your life with a care that goes deeper than anything this world can offer. It is constant, it is near, and it is already at work in places your eyes cannot see. Type 1919 if you believe healing is yours. Sometimes, the miracle is not the removal of the storm, but the peace He plants inside you in the middle of it. Sometimes, it is the strength to keep going when everything in you wants to give up. It is not loud. It is not always dramatic. But it is holy. And it is real. Every time you choose to believe, even if it's only a tiny bit, something sacred happens inside you. Faith begins to bloom, even through the cracks. You don't have to fix yourself for God to start working in your life. He doesn't wait until you're clean or ready or confident. He meets you right in your mess. He kneels in the dirt of your heartbreak and places His hand on your back. He whispers, "I'm here. I see you. I'm not going anywhere." And that is enough to keep going, even when you feel like you're walking blind. The enemy will try to convince you that nothing is happening, that your picture has been lost, your name forgotten. But those are lies. The truth is this: God has never lost sight of you, not for a moment. And the same hands that painted the skies are now weaving something new in your life, something beautiful, something lasting, something you haven't even imagined yet. It may not come in the way you expect, but it will come. Because His promises do not fail. Healing does not always come like lightning. Often, it comes like dawn, slow, soft, steady, bathing your life in new light until one day, you realize the darkness has lifted. And when it does, you will look back and see that God was there the entire time, guiding your steps, catching your tears, whispering courage into your soul. Nothing you've been through has been wasted. Not one tear. Not one moment of pain. It has all been seen, all held, all known by the one who loves you more than words can hold. There is a divine unfolding happening in your life right now. It is gentle, but it is powerful. It does not need to announce itself to be real. Trust the process, even when you don't understand it. Trust that your picture, your story, your heart, is in the hands of the only one who truly knows what to do with it. He is not late. He is not unsure. He is already moving. And in just the right moment, what you've been waiting for will come alive. The shock won't be in how fast it happens, but in how beautifully it fits into the shape of your heart. Because it was made for you. Designed by heaven. Planted in love. And brought to life by grace. God does not just see your face, He knows your sorrow, your silent endurance, your hidden strength, and your desperate longing for peace. He knows the parts of you that feel forgotten and the questions you're afraid to speak aloud. There is a sacred gentleness in the way God watches over you. He does not rush your healing, nor does He push you to be more than you are. He knows how much you've held inside, how hard you've tried, and how often you've kept going when everything in you wanted to stop. And so, with kindness that only heaven can offer, He surrounds you with quiet mercy, with invisible grace that weaves through your days like a soft thread holding you together when everything else threatens to fall apart. Type Amen if you believe in God's endless mercy. Even the smallest moments of your life matter to Him. The sighs, the long pauses, the nights where you just sat in silence wondering what comes next, these are not overlooked. They are gathered gently, stored in the heart of God, and transformed into a kind of beauty you may not see right now. He does not look at your life and see mistakes. He sees growth. He sees someone who is still standing, still hoping, still reaching out for Him, even if it's with trembling hands. And to Him, that is sacred. Sometimes, what shocks the world doesn't look like a storm or a fire, it looks like a quiet soul being held in the arms of the Savior, finally resting after a long, weary journey. And that moment, as small as it seems, shakes the heavens with joy. Because one more of God's children remembered who they belong to. One more heart dared to believe again. One more soul reached back toward the one who never let go. There are times when you may feel that nothing is changing, that you are still walking through the same valley. But in the Spirit, there is movement. There are angels surrounding you, not to fix everything instantly, but to remind you that you are not alone. There is holy ground beneath your feet, even when it feels like dust. And the hands that made the stars are the same hands holding your picture, looking at you with infinite affection and never once turning away. This journey with Jesus is not always easy, but it is never without purpose. He does not lead you into pain for no reason. He walks beside you through it, turning ashes into something beautiful. And when you don't have the strength to walk, He carries you. He does not grow tired of your weakness. He doesn't need you to be stronger than you are. He simply asks you to stay near, to keep coming back to Him, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. You may not feel strong right now. That's okay. You may not feel hopeful or certain or whole. That's okay too. God is not disappointed in you. He is not measuring your faith in shouts or victories. He is watching your heart, your honesty, your willingness to trust Him even when your world feels unsteady. And in that trust, even if it's fragile, something sacred grows. Something eternal. Something unbreakable. There is something coming that will change the shape of your sorrow. It will not erase your past, but it will redeem it. It will not remove every scar, but it will give them meaning. What is ahead is not based on your performance, but on God's promise. He has already begun to write healing into your story. He has already declared that your picture will not be forgotten, that your name will be spoken with joy in heaven, that your life will be used in ways far beyond what you can imagine. So stay close to Him, even if you feel unsure. Let Him love you right where you are. Let Him hold what you can't carry anymore. Let Him whisper peace into the places that ache the most. There is no need to rush. Just rest in the truth that you are already known, already loved, already safe. And when the moment comes, when the door opens, when the silence breaks, when the impossible becomes real, you will know that it was never luck, never chance, never coincidence. Type 2020 to embrace joy and strength in Christ. There are days when your soul feels like a tired traveler, worn from carrying silent burdens and unanswered questions, still trying to smile, still trying to believe, even when everything around you feels uncertain. But even in those moments, when your hope flickers and your strength feels small, you are surrounded by a love that never loses its way. You are not walking through life alone. God walks beside you, matching your steps, knowing the weight in your chest, and never once asking you to carry it without Him. Every second you wait, wealth meant for you slips into someone else's hands. A hidden brain wave, once buried in CIA files, has been proven to awaken unstoppable prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch inside your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. This is more than an opportunity, it is destiny knocking. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. He understands the parts of your life that don't make sense, the broken pieces that still hurt, the dreams that feel like they're fading. And yet, He does not back away. He draws closer. He leans in. He speaks not in thunder, but in stillness. And in that quiet place, He reminds you that what's ahead is not dependent on how strong you feel today, but on how deeply He loves you, and that love never changes. Even when nothing feels different, even when the days blur into one another and your heart aches for a sign, there is still a story being written, one thread at a time, one prayer at a time. God is not rushing your process. He is working through every hidden hour, every silent cry, every surrendered moment. What is unfolding in your life may not be visible yet, but it is holy. It is intentional. And it will one day bring beauty from the very places that now feel barren. The truth is, you are not forgotten in the crowd. You are not one of many, you are one of a kind. There is no one else with your voice, your story, your spirit. God did not make you in pieces. He formed you with purpose. And that picture of you, placed before His throne, is not a request for attention, it is a beloved reminder to heaven of someone worth fighting for. You are worth every moment of grace, every miracle in motion, every angel sent to protect and comfort you. When the world tries to tell you that you must earn your worth, prove your value, or be someone you're not to be loved, remember this: Jesus never asked for perfection. He came for the weary, the hurting, the outcast, the ones with messy hearts and trembling faith. He sat with the broken and listened. He touched the unclean and healed. He called the unseen by name and gave them back their dignity. And He has never changed. That same Savior is with you now, speaking your name with love. You don't need to pretend with Him. You don't have to hide your fear, your pain, or your confusion. He already knows. And still, He stays. Still, He chooses you. Not in spite of your pain, but because He understands it. He sees every wound, every scar, and instead of turning away, He reaches for them. He blesses them. He makes them part of something eternal. Right now, something is shifting. You may not see it, but heaven does. In the quiet chambers of grace, doors are opening. Chains are breaking. Peace is drawing near. And it is not because you forced it or earned it, but because God has seen you. And He will not ignore the cries of someone He loves. Your picture has touched the very heart of God, and that alone is enough to begin a holy transformation. Type 2121 if you trust God's plan for your life. Keep going, even when your steps are slow. Keep holding on, even when your grip feels weak. Keep trusting, even when you don't understand. Because the one who holds your picture holds your future too. And he will not let you fall without catching you. He will not leave you without comfort. He will not forget the promises he made to your heart. You are being led into a new season, not because of chance, but because of purpose. There is light ahead, and not just the kind you see with your eyes. There is a warmth, a healing, a restoration that is coming, not from the world, but from the heart of God Himself. And when it comes, you'll understand why you had to wait, why you had to trust, and why you were never truly alone. You are not waiting for something small. What is coming is not a minor change, not a brief flicker of relief, but something sacred and lasting. God is building something in you that cannot be undone by fear, disappointment, or time. The sorrow that has lingered, the prayers that seemed unanswered, the parts of you that feel tired and worn, He is gathering them, not to ignore them, but to use them. To shape something beautiful, something eternal. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something so deep and healing that it will reach places inside you that have ached for years. He is not just sending answers to your prayers, He is drawing near to be the answer. Jesus does not simply stand at a distance and send blessings from afar. He steps into your pain, sits beside your struggle, and speaks with a voice that calms storms. His presence doesn't always remove the difficulty, but it changes what the difficulty feels like. It brings peace where there should be panic, comfort where there should be despair, and strength where there should be none left at all. This is what heaven is doing right now, even if you can't see it. This is the work of grace. Slowly, like morning light stretching across a dark sky, healing is rising. You don't have to force it. You don't have to rush it. You just have to breathe and believe that God is not done with you. Not even close. What feels like silence is not absence, it's preparation. What feels like waiting is not punishment, it's protection. And what feels like stillness is actually heaven gathering every thread of your life to weave something far more beautiful than you would have chosen on your own. If your heart is tired, if your soul feels stretched too thin, know this: it's okay to rest. You do not have to keep proving your faith to be loved. You do not have to perform to be chosen. You are not being held back because you're not enough. You are being held in place because God is preparing the right door, the right timing, the right unfolding. And when it opens, it will be right not just for your situation, but for your heart. Heaven does not move in chaos. It moves in perfect peace. And that peace is wrapping around you now, even if it's hard to feel. Sometimes we don't notice the shift until we look back. But just because you don't feel it yet, doesn't mean it's not happening. Every breath you take in hope, every quiet decision to keep believing, every moment you choose love over fear, these are the building blocks of a life that heaven is blessing. The struggles you've faced were never your fault. A hidden brain frequency, once buried in secret research, has been silently holding back your wealth. Now, for the first time, it is available to you, and it only takes minutes to activate. Imagine the chains of debt breaking, the doors of opportunity opening, and your life flooding with prosperity. This chance may never return. Click the link in the video description and comments below to claim it now. God's love for you is not thin. It is not shallow. It is deep, fierce, everlasting. It does not waver when you doubt. It does not shrink when you fall short. It does not disappear when you feel broken. If anything, His love draws even closer in your weakest moments. You are safe in His hands, not because of your strength, but because of His heart. Type 1111 if you agree. Right now, there are angels stationed around your life, not to keep you away from pain, but to remind you that pain does not win. There is more ahead. There is more to become. Your life is not a series of failures or missed chances. It is a sacred journey that God is still walking with you, hand in hand. And what's ahead will not just surprise you, it will restore you. So let your heart rest in this truth: your picture is still before Him. It has not been forgotten. It has not been misplaced. It has been honored. And because of that, your next season will be filled with things only God could have created. Not because you were strong enough, but because He loves you enough to give you more than you thought you could ever deserve. From the very moment your picture was placed before the Most High, something eternal was set in motion. Not because of what you did, not because of your strength, but because of who you are to God. You are His beloved, and in His presence, your life holds a value far beyond what anyone else may have ever seen in you. There is no force on this earth, no mistake in your past, no weakness in your heart that can erase the truth of how deeply you are loved. Even now, as you sit in the middle of your waiting, maybe still feeling unsure or tired or alone, God is already preparing the next part of your journey with care. He knows how long you've been holding on. He knows the places where your hope has grown thin. But He also knows the strength inside you that you've forgotten about. The kind that kept you standing when everything around you seemed to fall apart. The kind that refused to let go, even when the silence stretched on longer than you expected. There is nothing small about what you've endured. It matters. Every tear, every quiet prayer, every time you smiled when you wanted to break, heaven has seen it all. And not one of those moments has been overlooked. God does not waste pain. He transforms it. He takes the pieces that seem shattered and slowly, lovingly, builds something more whole than what was there before. He does not patch you up and send you on your way, He walks with you. He restores what was lost. He brings light into the cracks where darkness tried to settle. Your picture has not been shown to a stranger. It has been delivered into the hands of the one who breathed life into your lungs and wrote your name into His heart before the world even began. There is something sacred about that. You are not forgotten in the noise. You are not overlooked in the crowd. You are seen in full and loved completely. And that kind of love changes everything. Jesus sees not just where you've been, but where you're going. He knows the weight of the battles you've fought and the dreams you're still afraid to believe in. He does not condemn you for your fear. He does not criticize you for your doubt. Instead, He comes closer. He whispers peace into your anxious thoughts. He reminds you that faith is not about being fearless, it's about holding on to Him, even when everything inside you is trembling. Type Amen if you believe. If the world has told you that you are too much or not enough, that you've missed your chance or that nothing good could come from your pain, know this: the world does not get the final word. God does. And His word over you is one of life, hope, and redemption. You are not too broken to be blessed. You are not too late to be chosen. You are not too far to be found. Even in your quietest moments, even when you feel like no one is listening, heaven leans in. God's presence surrounds you. You may not feel it all the time, but it is there, steady, gentle, constant. You are being carried by a love that will not let you fall. You are being led by a shepherd who knows every shadow and still walks beside you without hesitation. There will come a day, sooner than you think, when everything will begin to make sense. The pieces that didn't seem to fit will fall into place. The prayers you thought were lost will begin to bloom. Not because things suddenly became easier, but because your faith led you here, into the arms of the one who was holding your story all along. There is healing ahead. There is joy that you haven't yet tasted. There is laughter waiting to rise again in your chest. It's coming. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are walking a path that heaven itself has marked with grace. And every step is leading you closer to something holy. Something breathtaking. Something only God could create. There is something quiet and holy about the way heaven moves. It does not always come with signs that can be seen by the eye, but it always comes with a change in the spirit. And even if everything outside you still looks the same, something is already shifting within you, something sacred, something eternal. God is not just watching your life unfold. He is walking through it with you, step by step, moment by moment, never missing a single beat of your heart. You may have days where the weight feels too heavy, where the ache in your chest returns without warning, and your prayers feel like echoes fading into silence. But even in those moments, heaven has not turned away. In fact, those are the moments when angels draw closest, when the Spirit surrounds you with invisible strength, and when Jesus Himself whispers your name as a reminder that you have not been left behind. You have not been overlooked. The picture of your soul, held in the hands of the Almighty, is not just a symbol, it is a living reminder that your story matters. That your journey has not gone unnoticed. That your pain is not wasted. And that your future has already been spoken for by the one who brings life from dust and hope from ashes. He has already begun the work of redemption in your life, even if you can't see the fullness of it just yet. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. The world may tell you to move faster, to push harder, to achieve more, to hold yourself together even when you feel like falling apart. But heaven tells you something else. Heaven tells you to rest. To trust. To breathe. To remember that you are loved not because of what you accomplish, but because of who you are, God's child, fearfully and wonderfully made, deeply known and completely loved. Type 1818 to claim miracles. You don't have to earn your place at his table. You don't have to prove your worth to be held in his arms. The grace of Jesus was never about your performance, it was about his promise. And that promise remains, even in your weakest hour. Especially in your weakest hour. Because it's in those fragile moments, the ones where you feel like you've reached your end, that God begins to move in ways beyond your understanding. There is nothing too broken in you that his love cannot reach. No thought too heavy, no past too tangled, no fear too strong. He is not afraid of your pain. He is not shocked by your struggles. He does not flinch at your honesty. He draws near to it. He wraps it in gentleness. He takes it into his hands and begins to reshape what you thought was lost into something you could never have created on your own. And when the moment comes, and it will, when the breakthrough arrives, not with loud fanfare, but with quiet peace, you will look back and see that God had been preparing you the entire time. The delay was not a denial. The waiting was not without meaning. Every tear you cried was seen, and every quiet prayer you whispered was gathered like treasure in heaven's hands. The response is already on its way, and it carries more than just answers, it carries healing, restoration, and renewal. You were never meant to carry this alone. And you don't have to anymore. Let God take it now. Let him hold your fears, your failures, your worries about what's to come. Let him remind you that your picture is not buried beneath the noise of the world, it is right before his eyes, treasured and protected. There is a new beginning ahead. One not built on what you've lost, but on what is being restored. One that doesn't erase your story, but redeems every page. You are walking toward that promise now, even if the path feels uncertain. And with every step, you are being led by hands that do not tremble, and by love that never fades. Though the days may pass and the answers you long for may still feel just out of reach, nothing about your life has been ignored. Nothing you've felt or faced has been missed. God is not distant from your pain. He is not far from your fear. He is close, closer than breath, watching over you, guiding you, and preparing something so full of grace that it will one day bring tears of healing instead of sorrow. You may feel weary, and that weariness is not weakness. It is the weight of carrying so much for so long without always knowing what's next. But even in that heaviness, you are still standing, still believing, still holding on to the smallest thread of faith, and that, to heaven, is everything. That thread may not feel strong to you, but in the hands of God, it's enough to pull you through. Every time you've chosen to keep going, even with a heart that felt fragile, you were never alone. Jesus was walking beside you. Not just watching you struggle, but walking in step with you, feeling what you feel, understanding what no one else has fully understood. His presence is not loud. It doesn't demand attention. But it is powerful. And it is always there. In the tears you cry in silence, in the long nights when you feel forgotten, he is there, not waiting for you to fix it, but gently reminding you that he never left. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. There is something holy about your endurance. You may think you're just surviving, but from where heaven stands, you're growing stronger. Not the kind of strength the world recognizes, but the kind that endures, the kind that hopes even when it hurts, the kind that keeps trusting that God is still God, even when nothing makes sense. That is sacred. And that is the kind of strength that moves the heart of the Father. Your picture has not faded from His sight. It hasn't gotten lost in the prayers of others. It hasn't been delayed because you made too many mistakes or doubted too much. God does not work that way. He is not keeping score. He is keeping you. You are not waiting for Him to decide if you're worthy. He decided that before you took your first breath. You were chosen. And you are still chosen. Sometimes, what God is doing looks like silence to us. But silence is not absence. It is often the space where the deepest work begins. In that stillness, He is rebuilding what was broken. He is healing wounds you forgot how to speak about. He is preparing a season that your heart will be ready to step into, not with fear, but with peace. You won't always feel it coming. Healing often starts beneath the surface, where no one can see. But one day, you will look back and realize that something changed. That the weight you carried isn't as heavy. That the fear doesn't speak as loud. That the sorrow doesn't sting the way it used to. And in that moment, you will know, it wasn't sudden, but it was sure. God was working all along. He doesn't just want to make your life better. He wants to bring you into something deeper. A peace that stays even when the world shakes. A joy that blooms even after long seasons of grief. A faith that no longer depends on what you feel, but on what you've come to know. God is faithful. God is with you. God is for you. Right now, even as you read these words, something is gently shifting in the Spirit. Not because of the words themselves, but because the Spirit of God is near. Near to your heart. Near to your mind. Near to the parts of you that are too tired to speak. He is not waiting for the perfect version of you. He is loving the real you, here and now, completely and without condition. This journey is not about being perfect. It's about being held. And you are being held more closely than you know. You are being loved more deeply than you've felt. You are being carried more gently than you realize. And none of this is because you earned it. It is because you belong to a Father who will never stop reaching for you, never stop calling your name, never stop moving mountains to bring your heart closer to His. The image of your life, your heart, your pain, and your hope, still rests in the hands of the One who made you, and He is not looking away. You are not another face in a crowd to Him. You are the one He watches through the night. The one He whispers comfort to when no one else hears. The one He has chosen to stay with, even when the road is long and your soul feels tired. Type 2323 if you trust in God. There is a gentleness in how God sees you, an endless patience that does not grow weary when you struggle or fall. He does not pull away when you question, nor does He turn His back when you cry out. He leans in. He draws nearer. And in those sacred, unseen moments where you have nothing left but a quiet plea for help, He surrounds you with the fullness of His love. Not a piece of it. Not a portion. But the whole of His presence, pressing into your weakness with strength that will never run dry. You may feel forgotten by people, left behind by life, or overlooked by those you've loved, but God has never missed a single moment of your story. He has seen every silent night, every morning you pushed through the pain, every time you tried again when you had every reason to give up. That is what He holds when He looks at you, not failure, not shame, but the sacred evidence of someone who is still standing, still believing, still reaching for the light even in the dark. Your name is spoken in heaven with affection. Not with disappointment. Not with frustration. But with joy. Your picture is not a reminder of your struggles, it's a reminder of how deeply you are loved. And it is because of that love, not your efforts, that the next part of your journey is already being written in grace. There is no force stronger than the love of God for you. Not time, not fear, not even your own doubt. His love is not changed by your lowest moments. It is made visible through them. Jesus walks closest when the path is rough. Not when you have everything figured out, but when you don't know what step to take next. He walks at your pace. If you can't run, He walks. If you can't walk, He waits. If all you can do is sit in silence, He sits with you. That is who He is, not a distant Savior waiting for you to rise, but a present shepherd who kneels beside you until you are ready. And He is never in a rush. His healing is never hurried. He knows the rhythm of your heart. He knows how deep the wounds go, how long you've carried them, how quietly they've shaped your life. And still, He comes. He touches what hurts without judgment. He begins the slow work of restoration, not to erase your past, but to heal it so that it no longer defines your future. There are days ahead that will bring a lightness you've forgotten how to feel. Laughter will return, not because everything is perfect, but because grace will have filled the cracks. Joy will rise again, not from circumstances, but from the presence of God in your heart. And peace will become the ground you stand on, even when storms try to shake you. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. Type 555 to receive miracles. While you may still be sitting in silence, still wondering how much longer you'll have to wait, God has not forgotten the depth of your prayers, nor has He misplaced the picture of your life that was placed before Him with such love. In His hands, nothing is ever lost, and nothing is ever too late. Every part of you, your fears, your dreams, your scars, and your strength, is known and treasured. Amen. Every door that closed was heaven's way of protecting you from something unseen. Every delay was preparation, not denial. And every longing you've kept deep inside has been heard by the one who placed that desire within you. You have not been forgotten. You have been chosen for a story that only grace could write. Let peace enter your spirit now. Let this message settle like sunlight on your heart. There is no mistake too heavy for God to forgive, no wound too deep for Him to heal, and no distance too far for His love to reach. You are safe in His arms, and His plan for your life is not over, it is unfolding, even in this moment. Keep holding on to hope. Keep believing that light will return, because it already is. Heaven is closer than your next breath, and the love of Jesus is wrapping around you now, steady, tender, eternal. Archangel Michael says, "This message continues to reach you because heaven has not stopped speaking your name, and the love of God is still wrapping itself around your life, even in the places you thought were forgotten or beyond repair." This is not a message of warning, but of awakening, a sacred reminder that your heart is still precious to God, and that the plans He designed for you are not lost, only waiting for the right moment to bloom again. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. There comes a time when the soul feels weary from carrying too much, when you have been strong for too long, and the weight of unseen battles begins to press heavily on your chest. In those quiet hours when tears fall without words, God is not far away. He is closest in the silence. His hand is resting gently on your heart, reminding you that even when you feel unseen, He is watching over you with a tenderness that never fades. You may not realize it, but there are angels walking beside you every single day. They move quietly, guiding your steps away from harm, softening what could have hurt you, and bringing you into places where grace can reach you again. Many of the things that did not work out were not failures, but protections. Many of the moments that broke your heart were actually the very moments that prepared your spirit to see God's love in a deeper way. The truth is simple: you were created for abundance, yet a dormant brain signal has been holding you back. Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it pulls wealth into your life like never before. Others who pressed play once are already transformed, living the life they dreamed of. Do not hesitate or let regret steal this chance. Click the link in the video description and comments below to unlock your prosperity now. Jesus understands the pain that lives inside you. He has walked through sorrow and knows how heavy the weight of grief can be. When you cry, He does not look away. When you doubt, He does not withdraw His hand. When you lose your way, He does not scold you. He simply waits with patient love, whispering that you are still His child, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate you from His care. You have faced trials that others do not know about. You have walked through days that tested every part of your strength. Yet, here you are. That is proof of God's grace. It is proof that you have never been alone, not even for a heartbeat. Each moment you thought you would not survive became the very ground where your faith took root. Each prayer you whispered in exhaustion reached heaven and became a seed for blessings yet to unfold. God's timing is never late. He sees the whole path, not just the moment you're standing in. He knows the reasons for the delays, the detours, and the pauses. Sometimes, He withholds something not because He wants to deny you, but because He is still preparing your heart to receive it without fear, without doubt, without breaking under its weight. His love is protective, patient, and purposeful, even when it feels silent. Archangel Michael stands with you as a guardian of hope, a reminder that heaven is actively working in your life right now. Even when you can't see progress, even when your prayers seem unanswered, the spiritual realm is alive with movement, aligning what you need, opening paths, and clearing what no longer belongs. What looks still to you is a storm of miracles forming above you. You may not see it yet, but you are on the edge of something sacred. God is preparing restoration, not just of what you lost, but of what was meant to grow from your pain. He is not bringing you back to where you were, He is leading you somewhere better. The blessings coming are not meant to fill the old spaces, they are meant to build something entirely new, something eternal, something strong enough to withstand any storm that comes next. Let this message remind you to rest in His promise. You don't need to understand everything right now. You don't need to fix yourself or earn your healing. You only need to stay open and let Jesus hold you in the middle of your waiting. His love is steady. His mercy renews with every breath. His light is already finding you, even through the cracks of your pain. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it, the stillness, the safety, the warmth of His presence. The angels are near, whispering peace into the corners of your heart that have known too much noise. You are being led into a season of calm, a season where the love of God will not only heal your wounds but remind you that you were never truly broken, only being reshaped into something more beautiful. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. Archangel Michael says, "Do not ignore the weight of this moment, because the Lord is calling your heart into something deeper, something gentler, something far more sacred than the chaos that tries to distract you." This red alert is not here to frighten you, but to lift your eyes above the noise of your past and gently remind you that God has not changed His mind about you, not once, not ever. You've walked through days where the world moved fast around you while your soul felt stuck in slow motion, aching to feel again, aching to breathe without fear, aching for rest that goes beyond sleep. You have learned how to wear strength like armor, how to smile when it hurt, and how to keep going when your spirit whispered that it was tired. And even though you kept pressing on, somewhere along the way, you wondered if God still saw you in the middle of everything. Type Amen if your heart belongs to God, and share this video with 7 faithful friends to receive His blessings and miracles. Right now, His eyes are upon you not with disappointment, but with deep compassion. He sees the layers of your heart, the joy and the sorrow, the hope and the wounds. He sees the version of you that still believes and the version that sometimes struggles to. He sees the moments you've wanted to give up and the quiet victories you never celebrated because they felt too small. But heaven sees them all, and heaven counts none of them as small. You are the beloved of the Creator of the universe, and not a single moment of your journey has been meaningless. The broken parts, the lonely nights, the silent prayers, none of them were wasted. God is the master of redemption. What the world calls lost, He calls found. What others called ruined, He calls holy ground. And that is what your life is becoming now, holy ground, a space where His mercy touches every corner and fills it with something only His love can provide. This part of your journey may not look like what you hoped, and perhaps some dreams have felt too distant to believe in again. But Archangel Michael is here to remind you that God hasn't asked you to fix everything, He's asking you to trust Him with everything.